Hey everyone, welcome back to my Italy series. This is my favorite series on my channel so far, and there's some of my most popular videos are the ones that I made on culture shocks in Italy, from Australia to Italy, things that I still didn't understand about Italy, and so on and so forth. So I wanted to continue that series on today and talk about the things that I love about Italy, the things that I miss about Italy, and really just have like a little chat to you guys about that, because if you guys know me, it'll come as no surprise to you that I love Italy. It's probably, I think it would be my favorite country. Well, it's definitely my favorite country that I've been to. It's so beautiful. I love the food, I love the culture, I love the language. I was so lucky to live there for an entire year, so I wanted to continue this series on my channel because I just love it so much, and I just want to make a video about Italy. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and this is just going to be like 5 things that I love about Italy or that I miss about Italy, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. So the first thing, and I guess this is kind of a personal one, but I think a lot of you will be able to relate to it, is that there's not really any kind of diet culture, and it's really different in that aspect to Australia, for example, because even though people in Italy are very conscious about what they're eating, and they are very conscious about their health and their digestion and like optimizing that through the way they eat their food. There's not so much of a focus on like having a specific body type or anything like that. And I found that really refreshing, because especially as a person who's struggled in the past with my body image and things like that, my relationship with food and stuff, I found that to be just like a really positive change, especially for me mentally. It was just like opened my eyes so much, and I was really fortunate in the fact that I lived there for a year, so I really got to soak that all in, and I found that to be a really positive influence on my mental health and the way that I lived my life, and just not caring so much, like still being conscious of what I was putting in my body, but not being so fixated on like maintaining a certain body or weight or something like that. And that was really important for me, and I'm sure a lot of you will be able to relate to that as well. The second thing that I want to talk about, and this kind of goes hand in hand with food, is the drinking culture as well. And I find that, even tying in from my last point, how the diet culture is very much more prominent in Australia, and you see, you know, a lot of people are going on specific diets. I guess it permeates our culture a lot more, is that focus on dieting and health and fitness and that kind of thing. But I feel like in Italy, and the second thing that I'm going to talk about is the drinking culture. And that's one thing that I loved about Italy and Italians, was that they're so much more conscious about the way they drink. It's very much a social thing, and they know how to control their drinks, because, you know, a lot of them grow up and they're drinking wine from quite a young age, and it's kind of like normalized as, I guess, kind of like a delicacy. And when I was there, even though they're allowed to drink in the streets, and you know, you don't get asked for ID really wherever you go, I found that despite all of these really kind of light regulations and rules surrounding alcohol, that they were a lot more conscious about their intake of alcohol, and also they were a lot more aware of how it made them feel and knowing when to stop. Whereas I feel like in Australia, the drinking culture is very much drinking to get drunk, going out to parties and like drinking copious amounts of alcohol, being completely wrote off the next day, and then waiting for the next weekend, doing it all again. Whereas in Italy, it's very much, you know, like I said, more considered. They're a lot more conscious about it. And of course, that's a generalization. I know not everyone is like that in Australia. We obviously take a lot of cultural influence from Italy and France and, you know, places like that. However, I did notice a significant difference in the way they view alcohol. The third thing, and this might be quite interesting to some of you guys, was not feeling the pressure to wear makeup or a lot of makeup. I noticed, and one of my friends, Anna, she did an assignment on this. We had to do a research assignment which was undertaken throughout the whole year, and we had to choose a topic or a phenomenon that was really prominent within the social and cultural sphere of Italy, and particular in Milan. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think she did her assignment on makeup in Italy and how differently girls treat makeup compared to Australia, how differently they wear it, how they wear it, etc, etc. I feel like you notice this in everyday life, is the girls, they're not wearing much makeup at all. They might be wearing eyeliner and maybe a bit of mascara and like lipstick. You don't see like heavy foundation, blush, like eyeshadow. It's just not really as common over there. It's very much simple, sophisticated. And not that I really am someone who wears a lot of makeup in general, but I do, you know, I put a little bit on to make myself feel more confident if I'm going out, or you know, just the usual things that people would wear makeup for. But even when they go out to like clubs and things like that, you'll see that they don't actually wear a lot of makeup at all. I notice a lot of them do like the eyeliner on top of their eyelids and like a red lipstick or something. It's very much a kind of classic style of makeup, which I really liked. I found that to be quite refreshing as well. So, and that's another thing I guess that you wouldn't really think of if you went to Italy, that I noticed pretty much straight away. So the next thing I'm going to talk about, and I guess this kind of ties into my first point about the diet culture, is that when you go to the beach, or you know, when you're in your swimmers in general, this wasn't just Italy, this was all of Europe. I never felt judged. I never felt like people were watching me. And maybe this is a personal thing, I'm not sure, but I did talk to a few other people about it from Australia, and they agreed with me in the sense that compared to when you go out at Australian beaches, and of course this depends on the place, it depends on a lot of different factors, but just generally I noticed that at the beaches, everyone is very much minding their own business. Even girls my own age, who I would often feel like might be watching or judging, or you know, people do it subconsciously and don't even realize it, but I didn't notice that really at all in Europe, or in Italy in particular at the beaches. And that was something that was really important for me last year, especially because as I said in my first point, I have in the past struggled with like body image issues and things around food and my appearance and whatever, like a lot of girls do, and even guys struggle with it as well. But you know, like I wasn't wearing a bikini or anything like that for years before I went to Italy, and I said to myself before I went, I said, Kaija, this is gonna be the year where you just let go, you don't care, you're in another country, like just embrace your body, embrace everything about it, get a tan again, you know, because I hadn't done that for years. The main reason was because I was making excuses for not wanting to show off my body, for not feeling self-confident enough to wear a bikini. I guess it was kind of a pivotal moment for me, and it really helped to facilitate that mindset shift in not caring, in transitioning to not caring so much what other people thought of me and worrying about if people were watching me at the beach or whatever, which is so stupid because everyone's just kind of worrying about themselves anyway. But that was something that I really loved about Europe, about Italy, was you never feel judged. The last thing that I'm going to say that I love about Italy and Italians is how passionate they are about everything about their culture. You know, it extends to everything. It's like the way that they speak, the way they organize their food and their traditions and culture, and their language has so much flair and character, and it's just like, it's such a beautiful way of life. I guess that's why they say la dolce vita is the sweet life, because it really is. And I think a lot of them definitely try to embrace that, and especially in the South, I noticed that, you know, the passion around food and like family, sitting at the table for lunch with everyone all together and everything like that is really a central part of family life. Especially in Italy, they regard that as it's really important, like to have all your family together. But what I found was really refreshing was that despite how busy they were, or you know, what they were doing, whether that was uni work or school work, or their parents were at work, but The beauty of living in a small town in the south was that they, you know, they come home and the mum cooks lunch and all the kids like help set the table, and then they all eat together, and it's like a communal thing that goes for like an hour or something, and they really like sit down, savor their meals. There's no phones at the table, there's nothing like that, which I think is a really nice thing to kind of maintain within family life. Really kind of opened my eyes to the importance of that, and how much that I actually value that. But yeah, that also extends to how people act towards you. I noticed me coming from Australia and living there for a year, I don't think I remember an instance where an Italian was really rude to me. I always felt welcomed and they were always friendly, and I never felt like out of place. I always felt as though everyone was really warm and welcoming and really made their best effort to accommodate, even if they couldn't speak much English, which a lot of them in Milan can, which was where I was based for the majority of the year. But you know, like, you try and make an effort with them and they really want to try and make the effort to speak English with you, which is such a nice, refreshing change, is that you don't feel as though you're being really annoying or anything like that. So yeah, that's one thing that I really loved, and that's where I'm gonna end this video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'm uploading new videos every single